Hey y'all, it's Linda from LA Plans, and today I will be sharing how I use my Louis Vuitton MM agenda and the current setup. So I'm very excited to share this with you guys because I have a full cash system that I've integrated into this agenda, and this is heavily inspired by Milk and Honey Life here on YouTube, and I highly recommend checking out her videos. She has this full extensive system in her agenda, and I was very inspired when I first purchased this by all of her videos, and so I integrated that into my system just with my budget, and so I'm really excited to share that with you guys. But definitely check her out, especially if you do cash envelopes. I'd highly recommend her videos. But we're gonna go ahead and get started with my setup, and so we're just gonna open this up. And so on the side, I initially had my cards in here, but I have moved them into card holders. And so in the card holders, I've actually put my cloth and paper sticky notes on cloth and paper planner cards, and so I just have a few of each on here so I can easily use them in my planner and on the go. So I just have like 3 to 5 on each one, and I just keep them in here, and that way I can plan on the go, and if I need to use a sticky note, I have them. So I have that for the message, memo, to do. And then I have this planner owner card from Infinite Lotus. This was in my most recent purchase, so I really love having this up top. And then I have these appointment cards from Cloth and Paper, and then I just keep all of my appointments in here. So this is my next hair appointment, and so I love having these in here so I can easily grab them when I'm out and schedule a new appointment, and that way I can reference these when I'm planning. And then on the rings, I have this business card holder from Cloth and Paper, and so I use the one from Cloth and Paper up front, and I keep my memo task cards in here. I have this planner card that I created with a custom design from Teresa Laura Creative of Mira, and then these cashmere page flags, which are my favorite page flags from Cloth and Paper. And then on the back, I have photos of my brother, my boyfriend, and I when we were in Portland for his birthday earlier this year. The July planner card from the Cloth and Paper June subscription box, and then I have a photo of my dad and I from when I was little, and we found this on Father's Day, so I just put this one in here. And then we have my inbox system. And so if you watched my GM setup, I use the inbox the same way. So I use one of the Cloth and Paper page flags on the symbols, and that means that there's something that I need to do. And so I'll move this on the message. If there's something that I need to do on here, it'll go on this icon if I have any mail that I need to check, or if I need to respond to an email. If I have anything to do, so if I have anything on this sticky note, then I'll put it on here. And then if there's a memo or anything that I need to look at, then I'll put it on here. And I use this as just a reminder of what I need to do, or if there's something that I need to plan or look at. And so that is how I use the inbox. And then we get into my tabs. And so I have the CEO glass divider tabs from Cloth and Paper. I absolutely love these, and I absolutely love the glass. I highly recommend the glass dividers. They just look so nice, especially with the Element Paper Co. cover pages. I would love pairing all of these with the Element Paper Co. cover pages and all of my agendas just because I love the look. And so the first section is the schedule, and so I keep this one very simple. So I have the weekly vertical inserts from Cloth and Paper, and I just keep this very minimal. This is for on-the-go planning. So if there's anything that I need to reference while I'm out, I'll have this in here. If there's any important dates or anything going on, I'll have it written in here. And so I have 3 months in here, so I go all the way up into September. And then we get into the list section, and so I just have notes in here. So I have the task inserts from Cloth and Paper, and then these grid and note inserts from Infinite Lotus. And then under the list section, I also keep my health section in here. And so, as I mentioned, this is for on-the-go planning. So I keep my health section in this agenda because I use the meal planner inserts from Cloth and Paper, and I want to be able to quickly reference while I'm out what we're planning on doing for meals, if we're eating out, or if we make a plan to eat out, I can quickly write that in here. And then I also keep my grocery list in here, and so when I do go to the grocery store, I can pull this out and then just make sure that we grab everything on the list, or at least the important items. And then I have these activity trackers from Cloth and Paper for the wellness portion, and so I've been counting calories, water intake, and these are just to track days where I don't eat out so I can manage having a balanced diet. And then I just list any goals that I have. For instance, no soda this week, no junk food this week, no eating out this week, and so on. And so that's how I use these. And then I just have a month worth of meal planner inserts in here with activity trackers for the entire month. And then we go on to the project section. And so this is where I keep content ideas, as well as collaboration information. And so I just have a calendar to reference important dates. And then I use these Gantt charts from Cloth and Paper to track videos or anything that's ongoing, like collaborations. I also like using these to track when I'm gonna film, edit, and upload, and when I have videos going out. I also use the project management inserts for any collaborations that I'm doing or any extensive projects, so I can keep notes of everything going on. So on here, I just write the different types of content that I'm creating, all of the tasks associated with that collaboration or project, how the collaboration or project went, and then I just keep all of my notes on here and then different dates and timelines on here. And so this is just an overview of the project, and then it gets broken down into the Gantt chart. And so I love using all of these in here, and I like these in the personal size, which is another reason why I keep them in here and don't have them in the A5 in my GM agenda. I just like having this, one, on the go so I can quickly reference important notes, but two, I just love the sizes of these inserts, and I just like them better in here and having this separated and broken down in here. So I have 3 months worth of those items in here. And then for every season, I have a capsule wardrobe for my seasonal essentials post. And then I'll also do another one for the Nordstrom anniversary sale that's coming up. And then I have a password tracker that I still need to fill out. But that's everything that I keep in the project section for blogging. And then I moved my finance tab in the back, and I'm still adjusting to it that it's out of sequence, but I keep it in the back because it makes more sense with the system that I have in place, and I want to keep it behind the finance tab, so I'm adjusting to it. But then we go on to the goals and ideas, and so in here I just have my capsule wardrobe because I'm updating my current wardrobe, and so I'm still working on this. And then I have a wish list tracker full of luxury items that I have my eye on, and then I also use the wish list tracker to track the Funko Pops that my boyfriend and I collect. And then from there we go into the miscellaneous section, and I'll show this at a later date. But then we get into my finance section, and so half of the section is for plans and half of the section is for my cash system / wallet. But under my finance section, I have this finance cover page from Elamon Paper Co. And then I have a brief overview of my budgets, and I go into detail on all of my financial videos on those, but that's just like the general breakdown. And so I just have this here to reference. And then we get into the system. And so the first portion of my financial section is for savings. So I have a cash savings where my goal is just to save $20 a week. And so I'm using this savings tracker from Infinite Lotus to track what's going in and out. And so I'll get cash back when I go to Target or the grocery store, and then I'll just put it in here to add to my cash system. And so I have this savings portion. I just love the way that the vellum cover page looks with the savings tracker, and I'm very happy that I got the vellum dashboards for these. And so that is the first portion. And then the second portion is my budget itself. And so I have these glass blank tab dividers from Cloth and Paper. And so my budget's broken down into 4 categories. And so I have a category for shopping, which is all of my spending, for groceries and dining out, for personal, which is again health, wellness, and beauty. And then my 4th budget is for gas, but I don't use cash for gas. I won't go into a gas station. I use my card. And so this tab is actually for miscellaneous, and I'll go over that in just a moment. But I have the first 3 categories of my budget in here, and they're all divided by the tabs. And so the first tab is the shopping. And so I have these budget trackers from Infinite Lotus so I can track what I want to do cash wise. So most of my shopping I do online. And so I think I'm gonna keep half in my bank account and half in cash, and that way, unless there's something that I know I'm gonna purchase, then I'll keep it in there. But if not, I'm just gonna keep everything in cash in here. And this is just gonna be essentially for when I go like clothing shopping or shoe shopping, have that cash in here. And then I have my groceries and dining out. And so again, I'm going to keep a small portion of this budget in my checking account because I do use DoorDash. There are days at work where I can't take a lunch or I don't have lunch prepared. There are portions of each budget that will be in my bank account, but for the items that will be in cash, I do want to have these categorized. So this tab has the groceries and dining out, and personal, and the miscellaneous section. And so this is just to hold any cash that isn't in my budget. For example, this needs to go into my joint account with my boyfriend. And so I want to just have a separate category for anything that's not in my budget so it doesn't get confusing, or so I just have a designated spot for it. So I have this miscellaneous section in here. And then we go into the purchases. So I just have purchase trackers in here, and this is for online orders. And so these are from Cloth and Paper. And I just keep this very simple. I have an extra document holder. And if I haven't mentioned yet, these document holders are from Cloth and Paper. But I have this extra document holder for receipts. And so I just have my Target receipt in here. And this is just so I can add it to my budget and so I can remember to pay this. So I do use my Target card, but I do pay it off every month. And this is just so I have the total and see what I purchased. A lot of times, especially at Target, I'll grab groceries. So some of the money will come from the joint account and some of the money will come from my personal account because I've also purchased personal items. So I keep that in here. And then we get into my cards. And so these card holders are from Infinite Lotus. And so I prefer these for my cards because they have 6 pockets. So each card has its own pocket, as opposed to the one from Cloth and Paper where it's 3 pockets and I would have to put 2 cards in one slot and then I'd be pulling out 2. I prefer having these so I can have 1 card per pocket. And I just love having these in here. I just feel like it's more organized. I can see where all of my cards are at. And then I have this pocket from Infinite Lotus. And so I'm going to be keeping change and stamps in here. And so I'm just going to be keeping general items in here. So I'm going to keep change. I need to buy some stamps, so I'm going to put those in here. But this is just to hold any items that I need. If I have a coupon, I'll put it in here. If I get like a merchandise card from Target, I'll put that in here, and that way I have a spot for those as well. But that is everything, and that is how I use my agenda. And I can't emphasize this enough how much I love this setup and this system. But yeah, other than that, that is actually going to be it for this video. Thank you guys so much for watching.